Every day we realize is a gift, and we treat it as such. We don't say goodbye to each other or anybody that we love without telling them that we love them, because there was such a significant separation, sudden and traumatic, that is not something you get an opportunity to do again sometimes.
I joined 6 November 1980 in the military, and then it was in '84 I was approached about becoming a police officer for the city of Guthrie, a reserve police officer. So I started down that path, went through the academy, graduated in, I don't remember if it was '85 or '86, and I'd pretty well gone as far as I could, short of becoming a full-time officer.
When we got back together in '93, I mean, he had just been promoted as first sergeant. He'd just been pinned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a tow unit in the infantry.
And our armor.
And he was very proud that he was one of the youngest National Guardsmen who had been pinned as first sergeant.
The forecast, plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high of about 82 degrees by this afternoon. Increasing cloudiness tomorrow.
We lived in a zone of security. I mean, we were in Oklahoma. We're not a target. You know, no one's going to come here. We're just farmers, you know. We don't, have any reason that anyone would want to harm us. It's not like we're the World Trade Center. We're not a high-profile target.
Oklahoma is such a friendly state.
Yeah, we're just good old buddies.
All of my military friends that have come here from other places, a lot of them opt to retire here. They said, this is the friendliest place I've been my whole career. And that's, I guess because of that, we never really had any reason to think that anything could happen in Oklahoma.
I think that was why it's such a huge shock across the nation, because it was not supposed to happen here.
Well, earlier you asked about the twinkle in my eye when I talked about work and how excited I was. Well, that came from my dad. He was excited about life. Everything he did, he approached with a smile and a twinkle in his eye. Mom was, she's very eloquent, very educated, very devoted.
She sewed all the costumes for the church's little plays that they would do. She'd, everything. It didn't seem to matter if there was something that needed to be created, LaRue was in on it. And what do you say about a 4.5-year-old girl? I mean, she was just a sweet, loving.
She was always smiling.
Yeah.
Always
She never had a bad day. She really did get upset about anything. Loved everybody.
When she would smile, she always crinkled her nose. Just little wrinkles on her nose and a big smile. It's funny, they talk about animals knowing when an earthquake is coming, or small children being in tune to different things. I really think they are, because that morning...
Ashley didn't want to go. She begged me not to go.
She said, I don't want to go.
She said, Mommy, I want you to stay home. Stay home with me today. Stay home and play with me. She doesn't do that. That's just not totally out of her. She just bawled, cried. Please stay home with me today, Mommy. And I just started a new job like 2-3 days before. And I told her, well, I can't today. But I said LaRue was going to bake some cookies, and I bet she'd let you help her. And
that being Wednesday, it was a short time until the weekend anyway. So.
Yeah, and I just have a couple
in a
more
couple of days, I'll be home all weekend.
We can snuggle and play, yeah. So when I dropped her off, she was happy. She was down on the floor playing with the toys and stuff. And I left that day thinking, everything was all great. It was a beautiful spring day.
A few hours and you'll be home.
A few hours, I'll be home.
We just had some kind of explosion downtown. It may be a federal building, I'm not sure.
Normally, Dad did all of his running around in Oklahoma City on his own. She stayed here and took care of the kids. She was our daycare. And at that point in our life, all of us had small kids. And Mom loved kids. She enjoyed their joyful innocence and had a place for them to run around. You know, what better place in the country where
With their nana.
Yeah. And I was at work. I'd heard the explosion all the way in Guthrie, and I worked in a large metal building that had these huge roll-up doors, and the doors shook. So she finally got a hold of me and said that, she goes, "Honey, you know where your parents were?" I said, "Oh, I went to Social Security office." She goes, "You know, it was in the federal building." "Oh yeah, you're right, it was." I said, "That's the building that blew up, isn't it?" She said, "Yeah."
Holy cow. About a third of the building has been blown away. And you can see just smoke and debris and fire on the ground, downtown on the ground.
We were just working and all of a sudden
paper towel, please.
there was just an explosion. Will you get a paper? Glass just collapsed all over me.
This is just devastating. And we are uncertain what caused this explosion at this time. It happened around 9 o'clock, and there's heavy damage downtown to office buildings. As emergency crews try and assist the injured, we have no report yet on the number of injured people.
How do you justify another person making the decision to take so many lives? And for me, I wasn't going there. They weren't going to be dead. They were going to be fine. They were just injured.
The whole time you're dreaming up possible positive scenarios, you know in the back of your mind, no, they were there. And then the only thing comes down to, where was that office at? I didn't know that it was right there with nothing but large panes of glass separating them from the truck.
We found out much later they were probably within 30 to 50 feet of the initial explosion. They probably never felt what hit them. So when this happened and there was that separation, both of us felt an overwhelming desire to continue on in that manner of servitude and honor. And I think that's when Mike, in particular, really realized that he had an opportunity to take his military career and his police and all of his background that he'd been working up to all of his life and actually prevent someone from having to experience.
To train now in what I do, to be able to go into collapsed structures, to do blocking and shoring, to try to remove people from it. Now I'm trained where I could have made a difference in '95. I don't think it could happen the way it did again today.
And that's why I say the next time it'll be bigger, it'll be different, it'll be horrible. And I just think that they're out there right now just trying to figure out a way to really strike at our hearts.
Get involved. Everybody can make a difference. If you're a trained professional, or if you're just a person on the street, if it's wrong, if it doesn't look right, say something to somebody.
We've got to be better. We've got to be ahead of the curve. We've got to learn from our mistakes, and we've got to be aware that our part in this is all unique and it all has meaning.
The whole time I was waiting to hear, have they found my family? Are they survivors? Are they deceased? I kept wishing there was somewhere I could go to learn more, to train, to be better.
It was, like I said, a small seed that's been planted, and now it's finally growing into fruition. But we need people to take the training so that it continue on in their honor and continue on to grow and become a more integral part of what we're trying to do, what we were trying to accomplish when we started the whole memorialization process. It has to teach. Every one of us, all the families, all the survivors agreed, it must teach.